Good day, students. Welcome to our next lesson, which is composing meaningful melodies. Meaningful melodies meaning the melodies that we will be composing will be based on established music theory concepts. So we're not just going to guess while composing our melodies or creating our songs, right? So in this particular topic, we will be focusing on the terms scales and hooks, or the concept scales and hooks. And you will also be achieving the following learning objectives: identify the melodic hooks of a song and explain how they are effective in capturing an audience, compose melodies based on the pitches of major scales, and compose catchy melodic hooks. In the playlist, you were given the task to watch this particular video wherein Ivan Fisher, a classical musician, revised the song Happy Birthday. He gave us ideas on the things that we have to consider in composing melodies so that our melodies would actually match the lyrics or the text that we have also composed. In this lesson, you will understand what melodies are made of first and foremost, and of course, we cannot create or compose melodies if we do not understand what constitutes a melody. Before we start the lesson, let's define the terms first. First, the pitch. It's the highness or lowness of a sound. So this is a high pitch and this is a low pitch. Alright. Next is scales, a set of pitches that serve as the tonal basis of our music. All of the melodies or the tune that we can remember from from popular songs are based on the scales. So scales are kind of like the selection or the options that you have, the choices that you have from which you can create your own melody. So we'll be discussing that later, more in depth. Okay. So next is the interval. Concept interval, it's the distance between two pitches. So this was discussed to you by Sir Paul last year. Just for you to recall it. Okay, so the distance between the note C, for example, and G, they are a perfect fifth apart from each other, or perfect fifth corresponding to 7 half steps that you have to travel. So from C, you have to move 7 half steps from the keyboard. We'll be using the keyboard or the piano as basis for the next lessons because they're the most straightforward instruments there is visually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from C to G, they are these two notes are 7 half steps apart, or perfect fifth apart. So compared to the distance between C to E, C to G have a higher, the distance between the C to G has a larger or greater interval, okay? So C to E, you just have to move 4 half steps. So 4 half steps meaning 1, 2, 3, 4. So travel 4 half steps and you get a major third interval. So hope you are able to recall those concepts from Sir Paul's class. Next, we have here sharps and flats, or the accidentals. So sharps, this is what looks like. It looks like a hashtag, but it's not a hashtag. It's a sharp. What does it do? When you put it beside the note, it raises that note 1 half step up from the reference pitch. Okay, so from here, for example, C. If you put a sharp there, you just move 1 half step up. So this is a C sharp. Okay, C sharp. How about a flat? So a flat, it looks like a small beat. So it lowers a note a half step down. So from, like, for example, we have here the note G, and then you put a G flat. If you want a G flat, you just move 1 half step down, or 1 half step lower. Okay, so this is a G flat, right? So sharps and flats, very important. Next, so let's skip this, yung continuity. We discuss melody. This is known as tune, commonly known as the tune. This is what you can remember from your songs. This is what you actually sing in your songs. It's a set of organized pitches that combined with rhythm. So if you combine a pitch and a rhythm together, they become a melody. So first, what is a beat, rhythm, and melody? What's the difference between these three concepts? So the beat is the heartbeat of your music. Ta, 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 ta. Okay? And then the rhythm is what the pattern of sound and silences that you sound and silence that you compose against that beat. So that's the beat. This is the rhythm. Ta 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 ta. That's the rhythm. Now, if you put a pitch against that rhythm, or you supply that rhythm with a pitch, then it becomes a melody. So ta 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 ta. Okay, so that becomes a melody. Now, rhythm plus pitch. Next, lyrical hooks. This is the short and catchy lines in a song that are repeated usually in the chorus as discussed in the previous topic, and then form the organizational structure of a piece of music. This one, it's in the popular music genre, it's what we call the verses. So we know that a verse is a verse because the verse one and a verse is a verse because it carries particular characteristics. So we know that this particular part is a verse 1, then the next one is the verse 2 because they sound the same. And then we know that we are already in the chorus part because it's the climax of the song, it's the highest point of the song, it's the most memorable part of the song. Then we also know the bridge. So I've discussed this in the previous lesson. So these are blocks of music. This is our plan. This is our structure for our music compositions. Right. So next we go to the main topic, which is the melodies. And melodies are all based on major scales. So here, how do scales actually affect our songs or songwriting? So when we change scales and when we change key, does it actually affect the songs that we compose?
What if you change key of popular sad song? Will it happy? What about happy song? Will it sad? Let's see.
Because clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. So you wanna play with me?
So I hope you saw the difference from the original, and then this one is the version in a different key, or using the different set of pitches or different scale.
Boy, you should know what you're falling for. Baby, do you dare to do this? 'Cause I'm coming at you like a dark horse. Are you ready for a perfect storm, perfect storm? 'Cause once you're mine, there's no going back.
Okay, so the scale, guys, is the basis of our melodies, the notes or pitches that we use in a particular song or composition or arrangement. As you have seen in the video, if you change your key from major to minor or from a minor to a major key, you will also have to change the notes or pitches that you sing, the chords that you play, and the scale or the melody that you use in your song or composition or arrangement. So, and as a result, your song will sound different depending on the pitches that you use or the scales that you use. Okay, Miss, ano ba tong scale? What does this mean? Ano ba yung key? Ano ba yung scale? Again, they are the basis of all the pitches and chords that we use in the song. So here, for example, if you are going to compose your song in the key of C, you may only use the pitches that are part of the C major scale, which are C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So there are no F sharps, no G flats, no A sharps, or B flats here. Only these 7 notes, or Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, and solfege. Okay, so ano sila? Where are these in the piano? Just so you can hear. So if your song is in the key of C, you're only allowed to use these pitches. Okay, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You can also use this. F, G, A, B, C. But you cannot use this because that's a B flat and that's not part of the scale. F sharp, that's not also part of the scale, so you cannot use that. Again, you can only use the pitches that are part of the scale. Okay? So for now, since we are beginning music composition students, we'll rely on the music theory concept called major scales. Through this concept, we can make sure that our song and the melodies that make up our song will make sense, actually make sense, and that we are not guessing in our composition process. Anyway, there are millions of things or infinite number of possibilities or melodies that we can already make from these notes alone. So let's not think that we are being restricted by the scale. Rather, they actually serve as our guide, our foundation, our structure, is to make sure that we are composing songs that make sense and that are correct, that do not sound out of tune. So, okay, this scale is our rule per se, but there are certain exceptions for these rules, and we can break these rules after we have actually understand these fundamental concepts. From there, we can take our composition to the next level. Okay? So, I'd like to use the song So Long Farewell as an example if you're still not able to understand what a scale does. Okay? So, let me just transfer to another screen. Okay, here, in this song, this is in the key of C. Okay. So Long Farewell from The Sound of Music. In this song, it's in the key of C, you are only allowed to use this particular pitches in creating your melody or composing your melody. E, G, E, G, E, C, D, E, F, G, A, E, G, E, G, E, C, D, E, F, G, A. There are no A sharps there, no G flats, no D sharps, no C sharps, okay? Because they're not part of the scale. So this is the melody for that. To sing goodnight, we hate to go and miss this pretty sight. So, mi sol. Okay, sorry. Going back. Mi sol, mi sol, mi do re mi fa sol la. Mi sol, mi sol, mi do re mi fa sol la. So again, there are no sol sharps or no la flats there because they're not simply part of the scale, right? So I hope you are able to understand now what the scale does. It's the basis of our melodies. We create our melodies based on the pitches of our scale. Okay. Okay, miss. We will try to use only these notes or pitches since they are theoretically correct and they have been tried and tested through time already. But how do we actually know the pitches of the key or scale? So, you just need to remember this pattern. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. You just have to memorize that. Or 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, half steps. So what does that mean? It's the number of steps or half steps that you have to travel or follow in order to get the pitches of your scale. In the major scale, there are 7 pitches all in all. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Okay, so the step 1, identify the key. So like for example, if you're in the key of C, then yeah, okay, key of C, kunwari. Step 2, identify the first note. So if you're in the key of C, okay, key of C, then what is your first note? Then first note would be C or Do, as shown here. Next, use the pattern to get all the 7 pitches of your scale. Okay? Not just any 7 pitches, but the part of the scale. So, C, what's the formula? 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Hope you are able to remember that. 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1 half step. So, from here, C, this is your first note, starting note. Travel according to this one. 2 half steps up, 1, 2. Always start counting on the next note. So, C, 1, 2. So, next note is D, as you see here. Next number is 2. So, from D, travel 2 half step up, 1, 2. Okay, then you get E. So, that's your third note. And then 1. Okay, from E, count 1 half step. You get F. That's why we have F there. And then next, so we are done with this 3. Next, 2. So from F, we count 2 half step up, 1, 2, G. Okay, so we are done with that also. Next, 2 again. So from G, 1, 2. Okay, so we get A. And then next we get B, because from A you travel 2 half step, 1, 2, and that is still according to our pattern. Next, you go back to C because we have this formula 1. Okay, there. Again, C, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 half step, 1, 2, 2 half steps, and then 1. Again, you just follow the formula or the pattern 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, or whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Alright? Another example. What if you're in the key of D? Again, you use the pattern W, W, H, or whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, or 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. So, if you're in the key of D, of course, your first note will be the note D or note Re. So, from D, count 2 half step up. So, from here, this is D, 1, 2. So, you get E. And then, the next, so we are done with this. Next number in the pattern is 2. So from here, 1, 2. Okay, so you get an F sharp. So that's the next note. Next, from here, how many half steps do you want to travel? Here, it says 1. So from F sharp, you go here, 1. Okay. Next, we have 2 half steps. So from G, 1, 2, we get A. Okay. Next, from A, how many half step again? 2. So 1, 2. We get B. And then from B, travel 2 half step up, 1, 2. So that's a C sharp. Oops, sorry. And then from C sharp, 1 half step up again. We go back to D, and E, F sharp, etc. Again, you just have to follow that formula or that pattern. Let me just play it here. Okay, so if you are going to compose a song in the key of D, the only notes that you can use are the following: D, E, F, G, C sharp, and so on. Or, of course, you can also use this. There's a C sharp in the scale. There's a B in the scale. And then there's an A in the scale as well. So, you're only allowed to use the pitches of your scale in composing melodies based on your major scales. Now, what if it's a B flat major scale? So again, you just use the formula 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. So from B flat, so if your key is in the B flat major, okay, then your first note would be B flat. And then you use the formula 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. So from B flat, 2, 1, 2, and then another 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 half step, then 2 half steps, 2 half steps, and then finally 1. We are able to get the B flat major scale because of the formula 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. B. Okay, so those are those are the only pitches that you can use if you are composing a song in the B flat major scale. So like for example, so that's a melody. can also compose this particular melody based on the B flat major scale. That is correct. But notice this. What if I play a note that is not part of the B flat major scale as we've derived? B flat. Then I play C sharp. Okay, it sounds weird, right? So, no, that sounds wrong, this one. But we can correct that by playing C instead of C sharp. Okay, so I hope you understand my point now. So again, you just have to memorize two things. This pattern, this actually applies to all major scales. If you want to get the scales of a particular major key, this is the most important thing that you should not forget. It applies to all major scales. So miss, what's the difference between the key and the scale? You keep interchanging them. Basically, if you are using the C major scale in your composition, then your song is in the key of C major. If you are in the key of C major, you may only use the pitches that are part of the C major scale. So there. So if you want to know what a particular what key a particular song is in, identify the notes that the singer is singing. Make your first guess. Baka nasa key of G ito. Check if all the melodies in the song are using the pitches of the G major scale by applying this pattern. 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1, half steps. Okay, incomplete half steps, not just steps, half steps. And then check the first and last note if it is G or Sol. If two or more different notes do not match, then your guess is not yet on point. Make your second guess again until you find the key that perfectly matches. Okay? So, when labeling or spelling, remember, no skipping or no repeating. So, here in D major scale, this one is correct. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. Those are the pitches of your scale. But this one is incorrect. D, E, G flat, G, A, B, C sharp. Technically, guys, F sharp and G flat are the same in the key, in the piano key. So, this F sharp, G, G flat. Their F sharp and G flat is this note. They're the same, but when spelling them or labeling them, they must adhere to this particular rule. It depends on your scale. No skipping or no repeating. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp is the correct one, not D, E, G flat. Because if you use G flat, you skip F, and then you also repeated G, the letter G, okay? Next, alright, don't forget about this. Okay, so we call F sharp and G flat enharmonic or identical, but they are spelled differently depending on your scale or key. Okay, so again, F sharp and G flat are the same note, the same pitch. We play the same piano key on the piano if we play F sharp and G flat. But in labeling, we are very strict with that. Miss, we keep forgetting which pitch or note is which in the piano. So, remember, there's a trick to that. Remember that C or Do, C or Do is always under or to the left of the set of two black keys. So, there's a pattern here. 1, 2, black keys, and then 1, 2, 3, black keys, and then again 1, 2, black keys, and then 3 black keys. 1, 2, 3. Right. So, C is always below the set of two black keys to the left. So, two black keys, C. Two black keys, C. Right. So, even if without label, you will know that this is C and this is C. Okay? Because they're under the set of two black keys. Set of two black keys to the left. Oh, another thing to remember when composing melodies is the first pitch of the scale is usually the first pitch in the song and the last pitch of the song as well. So if your song is in the key of C, the first note that you will hear from the composition will most probably be Do or C. the last note will also be Do or Si. So why? Because the first note of the scale is the home note. You come from there, so you also have to go back there. Bahay nyo ito. So, it offers stability and resolution para may closure. Ang hirap, di ba, kapag wala kayong closure, so you are left hanging. Your ears and the ears of your listeners will need to hear that home note. If they don't hear that at the end of the song, they will get the impression that your song is not yet done. So, for example, this song Kumbaya, okay, it's in the key of C. The first note is C, and the last note is also C. If the last note is, okay, I'll play it first. Kumbaya, 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 kumbaya. Right. So, what if it does not end on this particular note? It ends on D instead of C. Will it sound like it's done already? So, let's start here. Okay. Automatically, your ears will want to hear the note. It has to end here, not in D. It has to end at C. Okay, and then, so that is one of the uses of the scales. We know where to end and where to begin, what pitches to use and what not to use. Going back. Okay, so why are scales very important? When using your digital audio workstations like Logic Pro, Ableton, Sonar Cakewalk, we can just guess the notes or pitches that we input or encode in the software. It must be governed by music theory. So, here in this software, it is common to input or encode notes through the piano roll, as you can see here. It's like a digital built-in piano in your software. So, do you know how many piano keys there are in a modern piano? There are 88. So, how would you know which notes are still acceptable? The safest and surest and no mistake go-to route or notes would be the ones that you are able to derive from the major scale. So, if you're a little bit advanced, then you go to the minor scales. But we will not be tackling that yet in the class. So, here, the notes that you encode here should follow the scales that you are using. Depends on the key that you're using. So everything that is normal that you have heard in popular music are all accounted for and are all based on the music theory too. So if you write songs through DAWs or digital audio workstations such as these softwares, you also have to know which notes are acceptable through music theory. You can correct your mistakes and improve them if you know the fundamental concepts that they are based on, that or that they govern them. So, example of wrong notes that you can correct through practice is, for example, this one. If you perform a wrong note during a practice, you have to correct that before your actual performance by checking if the note that you sang is part of the scale or not, and why did it sound out of tune. Check your scale. Still on key. getting out of tune here. Okay, it's out of key. Singing pitches that are not part of the scale. Okay, let's go here. What? Okay, so that first note, it's not part of your key, it's not part of your scale, that's why it sounds so out of tune. Okay, next example would be, which ones are, maybe let's use this. I'm trying to find. Ariana Grande. Okay, that one is a little bit flat, maybe because it's not part of the scale that this particular song is using. Okay, so it is normal for musicians, singers, instrumentalists, performers to make a mistake or two when performing. That is why we practice. So how can you avoid repeating the same out-of-tune melodies in your performance? Your ears have to get used to the scale. All the pitches that you sing or play are based on the scale that you're using, so stick to it and you will be able to eliminate some mistakes and make your performance better. What else is the use of the scale? What if you are asked to improvise using your instrument? Use the scales. Easy as that. So I'm not showing you these examples to embarrass or shame people. I'm just showing you the mistakes that you can avoid by mastering the scales. Okay, so if you were in Jonas's shoes here, you will know what to play and not get mental block if you know the scales by heart. Right? It's the 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. So next, what's the importance of a scale? The chords that you use, the harmonization that you create in your songs and compositions are also based on the scale. We will tackle this on the second term. So this means that you really have to remember the 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1 pattern before we can progress, right? So that's the end of the video for scales. Check the next video for the other things that you have to consider in creating meaningful melodies.